Welcome to ACN, the Liberation TV of Ambazonia. Ambazonia Defense Forces, the vanguards of the Ambazonia War of Independence.
Yes. This day, the day we God be making for we. This day we God making for we. This day we God making for we. This is the day the Lord has made. This is the day the Lord has made. Aminye bon keton. Ni jogara bazim de douce. Democracy has never been given on a platter of gold. Your freedom will never be given on a platter of gold. If we do not, the zone.
Good evening, my fellow Ambazonians. Good evening for all una. Good evening for all our papa them and our mami them. Good evening for all our brothers and our sisters them. For all Ambazonians across the globe, for any place where you did for this world, I be una brother Asu, una the press secretary for the executive office for governing council of Ambazonia. That means I be the spokesperson for the office for the leader for a war of independence. All una come fine, for all una come well. Today, I don't can give una a very important breaking news. A very important news. We don't come out for inside La République du Cameroun colonial government. Today, as always, our goal now for provide the Ambazonian people them with the latest development, with the latest manipulation, with the latest propaganda, with the kind games and the kind conny where La République du Cameroun it always want come up with them every day for dodge the international system. Once again, the Cameroon colonial government it be for it did now for the place where it cook another international manipulation. The Cameroon colonial government it prepare another experiment. And as una coach, and as una press secretary, and as una strategist, we go always go catch this conny. We go always go investigate them. We go always go discover them. And then we must can expose them so that what people they go know the games, they go know the manipulation, they go know the connivance of La République du Cameroun, and therefore we go adjust ourselves for understand what we deal with them. So what did it happen? Oh man, I know so when I be very excited. Tell me what did it happen? What did it happen? I tell you what did it happen. Before I want to tell you what did it happen, make we first hear from Mbandam, the former SDF parliamentarian, where time be day way when Ambazonia people they rise up, it stand for front He speak the truth of the palaver. He speak the truth of the matter before Cameroun finally also kill it when they not be fit for succeed for UZ. Make we hear what he to be talk. And then we will take una go inside Cameroun parliament for tell una what the Cameroun parliament, the one doing, and then for tell una also what the ministry of I think na culture, which they try for cook them now, which be their new agenda, and which would already predict them for now. Then at the end, I go tell you now, what the Ambazonian people they go do for make sure say they jam all this conny. Una come well, they come for the best platform where they offer the best education and the best analysis. Make we start one band down, then we go inside the Cameroun Parliament, CSF. All right? Make we start one band down.
This is the day the Lord has made. Democracy has never been given on a platter of gold. Your freedom will never be given on a platter of gold. If we do not, I'm saying the zone, you to be buried. This day, now day where God will make up for we. I talk say they begin the way they grow. That's some now when I don't know me. Because if I will come out my chambers, say I will begin working for outside. Now this thing where I will look at this. Southern Cameroon, they don't be slaves for be a hand. Television. Or for years, you don't tell me again. If this country is break into two, now he be responsible. Because television. Or for years, you don't tell me again. If this country is break into two, now he be responsible. Because we, the English people, they don't push me for war today. Now they resolve this. And I'm glad. I will stay for house and say, if I hear say one of the marks, some soldier pass for corner, I will join one of the street. Television. Or for years, you don't tell me again. If this country is break into two, now he be responsible. Because we, the English people, they don't push me for war today. Now they resolve this. And I'm glad. I will stay for house and say, if I hear say one of the marks, some soldier pass for corner, I will join one of the street. don't lead people for Yaoundé. We will march go for Ejudi. Yellow. I march for inside Yaoundé. But say no go meet them here. Whether if we hear people. This time we don't write letter for you. Say me convene dialogue on Southern Cameroon. You know here. I'm glad say the people don't take their power. We are not taking on the power into one hand. So we will continue until we see the light of day.
Voilà Jonathan qui fuit.
The progress we don't make them over the last 4 years because of the defense structure where the Ambazonian people, they don't build them for ground for protect the Ambazonian people, defend our communities, and defend the sovereignty of Ambazonia. La République du Cameroun, the Ambazonian people already defeat La République du Cameroun through the strategy we don't lay them out for una and we don't explain them for una many times. Cameroon don't lost that political control. It don't lost the administrative control. The international community is see say Cameroon don't be defeated. And they don't realize I'm say, they say the Cameroon government enough it take back control of that territory. And the basic requirement, the things that the international community expect them from Cameroon as an occupying state. Now saying that they be responsible for guarantee the peace for people then, for guarantee the protection of people then, for guarantee the stability of that land, because now Cameroon be the occupying power. So when the Ambazonian people, they don't defeat Cameroon, Cameroon now, it don't lost the ability for provide this basic, for carry out this basic responsibility as the occupying power. The vacuum don't be created, we don't explain that for now, we don't need to go there anymore. It don't cause chaos for ground. That part of the world where they call and say the Gulf of Guinea, where Ambazonia did now the most strategic place for the world, where if it scatter, the entire region for all those countries them, for Central Africa and part of Nigeria, all go collapse, they go into total chaos. The world no want them. The world, it don't talk say, this matter, Cameroon must come for the negotiating table, for negotiate, for find a negotiated settlement, where it go be acceptable, where it go be just, where it go be equitable. Cameroon, because it no say it presence for Ambazonia, it be illegal. Now the whole basis this, now the whole foundation this of Cameroon they are calling. Cameroon they fear for go for any credible international negotiation where it go be supervised and the agreement it go be implemented. Wetin Cameroon the runner na because a presence from Ambazonia be illegal. Na because Cameroon de from Ambazonia na through the military where he use them occupy Ambazonia. Na because Cameroon and the Ambazonian people they never ever sign an act of union. The Ambazonian parliament where it be exist before the occupation. It not ever sign an act, the Ambazonian parliament, it not be signed anything into law, say Ambazonia and La République du Cameroun, they don't enter into any form of union. Now the whole Conidis, we Cameroon try for Dodger. The Ambazonian parliament, before Cameroon can occupy them, it not be ever shidon. It deliberate and then come up with the agreement where they go enter Waram for create the act of union with Cameroon. It not be ever take place. Cameroon march into Ambazonian, occupy Ambazonian. That's why till today, they did run any international negotiation. They did run for Shidon for international table for discuss this matter. Even for their own parliament. Una remember the famous Joseph Weber. He go for La République du Cameroun, their parliament. He talk for them, beg these people, scream, complain. In fact, make a play another video for Joseph Weber. Make it give now an understanding of what would the deal with them, of the kind conny, the kind crooked people, the kind thieves who would deal with them. A people who they not like truth, they not like order, they not keep basic agreements. I will now understand now why. Now they didn't for this new place where they did. Now they don't move to a new level of conny. Now they don't move into a new level of manipulation for manipulate the international community once more after we don't defeat them. We saw that video for Mr. Weber there. We could play another video. Now in this,
that you call yours, people can do what has been done to our children in West Cameroon. I call it West Cameroon because you will never take it out of our mouths again, because that is a territory in which we believe in freedom. To go out on the street and demonstrate is a basic right for us. And that is why we are saying that there are two Cameroons that came together. If you are telling us, like a state minister stood here last year and told us that what happened in Cameroon is like dropping a few cubes of sugar into a basin of water. Who is the sugar and who is the water? I'm asking the government bench of Cameroon. Who is? That you rape our children. My brother's daughter has been raped in Boya. I swear to you, the government of this country, does the president of this country know that the governors and the DOs and all the administrators you are sent to West Cameroon are out there behaving exactly like an army of occupation? Our people have nowhere to go. We have made all the efforts. Our ancestors and our forefathers trusted you to go into a gentleman's agreement that two people who considered themselves brothers could go to live together. If this is what you show us after 55 years, then those who are saying that we should break Cameroon are right. They are correct. The people of West Cameroon cannot be your slaves. The people of West Cameroon are not. You did not conquer them in war. If this is what you are saying that we should live in, I say simply, no, it will not work. How do you have an army that's supposed to protect children? Step out there, beat them, and rape some. It is not heard of in any country. This is the 21st century, and anybody who does that and cannot be willing for his government to pay the price, we will exact it on you. Because you are making us believe that we went to the wrong place. What is there to say? I want the world to know and to have it on record that we have made efforts. I have sat with ministers and listened to them talk. The first one was the then Minister of Justice, Amadou Ali, 10 years ago. And I took my time drove from Kombo to Yaoundé to tell him something is brewing out there. This thing that you people are sending gendarmes to beat people up and say all of these things, there is pain in West Cameroon. And as Minister of Justice, be very careful what happens there. And he turned around, looked at me, and told me, Mr. Wilbur, it is your people who choose to come here. He is alive. He told me. Last week, I went to see the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Famindongo, and I told him, the problems in Cameroon, the problem we have in West Cameroon, is the problem that will bring down Cameroon. If you do not handle it well, you will not know Cameroon as it is in a few months or in a few years. When people have had pent-up anger and pain, humiliation, for over 50 years, when it bursts out, you will never be able to control it.
All right. All una don't hear from the famous Honorable Weber when he be the warrior of Nso, he take over the colonial parliament for draw the attention of the colonial state and the international system of the injustices, of the human rights crimes, of the atrocities where Paul Biya and the terrorist forces that they commit for Ambazonian. It became the most iconic speech where he woke up, he give the Ambazonian people them the courage, because Weber be stand on top the devil on bearing ground and he tell the fucking devil to shut up. Now the first time that for the history of the Ambazonian people them, we see that level of courage where he stand on top the colonial master in his own living room, his own parlor, and he tell all them to shut up their mouth. He tell them for their face, which they do for people. When I remember, they move Weber on top their parliament for the front. Weber tell them, say, una must discuss this matter for parliament. They tell Weber, say, for their colonial parliament, they no go ever discuss anything we concern Ambazonia. They suppress the matter. This one at 2017. How many thousands of people, how many children, they don't be killed? How many women, they don't be raped? How many mommy, they don't kill them? How many papa, they don't kill them? How many houses, they don't burn them? Because they consider the Ambazonian people as an occupied people, and therefore they go treat them anyhow they want them. And the Ambazonian people, the matter, the war we Paul Biya declaring for them, their crimes, they not be sufficient enough for them for talking for their parliament. That's so they be tell we. Now so the colonial president of the parliament, Yege Jibril, now so he tell the world, say they no go ever discuss that matter for their parliament. It can't make a Weber run. Then the people of SDF, una come up, una also remember, they make another attempt. They take over the parliament for 2018. They sing, oh, una okay with you. They so talk say that matter they no go ever discuss them for their parliament. Una hear, now in this.
How many people Paul Biya go kill? How many people Paul Biya go kill? Oh! Oh, you go kill with a oh, you go kill with a how many people Paul Biya go kill? You can see the UDC is still in the hall. The CPGM has left. The journalists are still there. The UPC is in the hall. The CPGM has left. The people. How many people Paul Biya go kill? How many people Paul Biya go kill? Oh, how many people?
Okay, when I ask, I say, but why you did bring all this? Why you did bring all this? Why you did bring all this thing them up? Why you did bring them up? The reason why they bring them up, now forgive a perspective of the Connie of Cameroun. Because the one can play another Connie once more with the Ambazonian people them in order for them to continue their occupation. What did it happen now? Now say the Cameroon colonial government, because of the bill, because of the resolution with the Canadian government, it passed on for the Canadian Parliament. When I remember, because of that powerful resolution with the pass on for the Canadian Parliament, for talk say they say they must form an international team of investigators for go for Ambazonia, for go investigate the human rights crimes, the atrocities, all right, the crimes against humanity with the Cameroon army, it don't cause them for Ambazonia, for investigate how many villages they don't burn them, how many people they don't kill them, and then for make sure say they investigate the root causes of the conflict. Now, one of those things that we did for the Canadian resolution. Then they talk say Canada and all the friendly nations with Canada, they go rally themselves together for pressure the Biya government for come to a negotiating table. Now the Canadian resolution that they also talk say they go hold all the people that they commit those crimes accountable, and they go impose sanctions for those people then. From that time till now, the world it only move together for start for work on implementation of this Canadian resolution. Paul Biya no say the end don't come for ye. They go discover their fraud. They go discover their occupation. They go discover, they go hold Paul Biya, they go hold Atanganji, they go hold the colonial prime minister, they go hold all Cameroon top generals and their soldiers them. They go hold them accountable, and Paul Biya and his gangs, they go end up in prison. For them for avoid international mediation, for them for avoid international negotiation, where it go be credible, it go be fair, and they go enforce any agreement with the Ambazonian people and Cameroon they reach in terms of negotiated settlement. They know so. Because of that, now they try for dodge the international system. They don't always try for dodge the international system since 2016. Now they want to come up with another game for dodge the international system. What did they want to do? They say, hey, okay, see, for we for make sure say they not implement that Canadian resolution. For we for make sure say we not go for the negotiating table. We must stand up and talk say this matter we feel solved one by ourselves. So now they talk say, all right, make we go deliberate the matter for Cameroon Parliament. Finally, after 5 years, the Cameroon Colonial Parliament, they say they want to take this conflict They want go talk for their parliament now. Now be the right time. Ma tell you now why. Why did he play this Connie? Not be only for Dutch, the resolution of Canada, the Canadian resolution. Not be only for Dutch US Senate resolution. Now because they don't be defeated from Ambazonia. The real reason we Cameroun the rush for go table this thing for their parliament. Now because of the humiliation with the Ambazonian forces. Now because of the humiliation with our forces, they don't teach Paul Biya a lesson. Now because Ambazonia don't defeat them for the battlefield. So they want to go save their faces. That's why they be rush. Now for their parliament. So okay, if they go talk this matter for their parliament, and then they will talk, say, okay, because we don't talk for our parliament, the parliament now, it don't propose this set of solutions. Now they defeat. So Ambazonia, all this Connie, it come now because we don't take charge of control of the territory. All this Connie, they come now because the Ambazonian people, they don't seize their territory back. Now because we don't build defense forces. Because we get a credible leadership where it don't challenge Cameroun on the ground and diplomatically. Now because we don't beat them on the ground, defeat them on the ground, shame them on the ground, humiliate them on the ground, to the point where they don't try all Connie, it don't work. Now there is nowhere else to go. They propose the Commission of Bilingualism. They say Bibina a language problem. It failed. They come out, they say they want to do a disarmament program. They create a disarmament commission. That one so failed. They come out, they say that the Grand National Dialogue. That one so failed. Because until you acknowledge the cause of a problem, you know if you provide an adequate solution. Cameroun, their proposed solution, they be insufficient. They not even reach up to 1/10. Then they come and say, oh, na special status. That one so fail. Every step of the way, where they try to manipulate the international system, now the more the Ambazonian people, they compromise them, and Ambazonia, they build capacity and take more control. Now we don't defeat them. Recently, they don't pack out for a lot of places in Ambazonia. They don't pull their bases. They close their small army base, police station them, close small one them. They only go remain now for the big one them. And they only there for urban centers. So we must understand the game. And then we must understand how to deal with these people then. Because unless if you don't understand their game, then you go fall for their game. But if you understand their game, like what would come now, if we can't help our people them, make them understand the game. Make no Ambazonian, it not entertain anything we get for do would say they want go discuss the Cameroon colonial parliament. It not get the power, it not get the right for discuss anything we get for do with Ambazonia. Just like their colonial grand dialogue, they discuss now their things and for Cameroon. It go na a CPDM rally, na a CPDM platform, and it not be adequate for address the aspiration, the hopes, the dreams of the Ambazonian people. It not be the Cameroon colonial parliament. It not be enough. It not get the power. It not get the will. It not get the instrument. It not get the competence and the capabilities for discuss and prescribe and offer solutions where they go live up to the expectations, the wishes, the hopes, and the dreams of the Ambazonian people. They be incompetent. Make I tell you now, the root causes of this war not be na marginalization. The root causes of this war not be na lack of political participation. The root causes of this war not be na lack of development. The root causes of this war not be na the fact that the colonial state not be give more powers to councils and to provinces or regions. Not be na the root cause is that. The primary root cause of the conflict na the incomplete decolonization process. The root cause, the central root cause, na the incomplete decolonization process, na the failed process where it led to Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia. Any person we want go sit down for some place for talk about Ambazonia and Cameroon until they address the primary root cause, the failed decolonization process of the Ambazonian territory. Then they never start any work. They never start any talk. Then they never be serious. Any person who want to show signs of seriousness, any group of people, whether na the Cameroon Colonial Parliament, they must get this matter straight. This generation of the Dr. Ayabacho, the generation of General Efam, the generation of Benedict Kwa, the generation of Dr. Julius Nyi, the generation of General Popo, the generation of fighters, commanders, and generals, the generation of the liberators, this generation of the never again generation, it no go tolerate any day, it no go tolerate one more day of Cameroon manipulation for our territory. The game must come to a complete end. Cameroon are the only country after 62 years or 61 years, now the only country, this one go surprise all now. It go surprise all now. Now in this, now the game this how they want play. Now the game that they want play. What did they want do? They don't come out. They talk say, because they want to address this matter now for their parliament. Muna remember, they already proposed a bill where they make them for the first time for their history, for their parliament. They define the peoples of Southern Cameroon and the people of La République du Cameroun as both citizens of Cameroon. Now the first time that they don't do it. And I be one winner, saying a part of the game plan that. For the first time, for 2020, the Cameroon Colonial Parliament, they put a bill for their parliament for define a citizen of Cameroon as any person where they be born for the territory of Southern Cameroon, and any person where they be born or a papa and a mommy, they born them for the territory of La République du Cameroun, you be considered a Cameroonian. They already passed that bill. Now part of the occupation strategy that for make Ambazonian, for define them. Now the first time in 60 years, they define the Ambazonian people them as citizens of Cameroon. So now get to understand the game. A game they go on. It's not correct. Now they talk say they want to talk this matter for their parliament. So their minister of culture, It don't put together a team of 26 people them. And these people, they includes historians, anthropologists, sociologists, linguists, archaeologists, and geographers. What will be their work? What will be their work? They don't put a team of 26 people them together. They say, oh, look, we think say the problem of Cameroon are because, when I hear this one, oh, I beg, Ambazonians, when I hear this one, very interesting set of people. They say the problem for Cameroon, now the problem say the history of Cameroon will not be right and fine. It don't come now. So now the problem now not been the problem of language, according to the Commission of Bilingualism. They be talking a language problem, now not been a language problem. They talk in a disarmament problem, not been a disarmament problem. Then they come out. They talk in a problem of special status. They got to give special status to the Ambazonian people. They made it feel special. Made it feel special for Cameroon. Then they talk, okay, now not been the problem that. Now they don't go form a commission to rewrite the history of Cameroon. They don't go form now a commission. They don't go form a 26-man commission for rewrite the true history of Cameroon. 90s, una year. 90s, 26 scholars selected Cameroonian, 26 persons, 26 scholars selected to rewrite a comprehensive history of Cameroon. All right? And their goal is to write the true history as it was supposed to be. We're not here. So now a problem, according to them, the problem now, the problem say the history of Cameroon will not be right and fine. And that's why problem day. A country, after 60 years, it bring down the people them for say Unakashi don't want to write the true history of the country. See, me, I don't know what are these people that smoke na banga. I don't know what are these people that smoke na cocaine. All right? Or I don't know what that they drink. I don't know what that they drink. So according to them, if they just bring these people them together, these book people, they call them book people them. If they bring them together, oh yes, we could bring all the book people them together. Because now the problem now because as you know, we not be knowing the history. You don't know the history. You get a country, you don't know a true history. Oh no, you know the history, but because you have manipulated history, the history where you manipulate them, the history where France, it help una cook them. Una manufacture them for France laboratory. The history, it don't fail una. The history to assimilate Ambazonia. The history for turn am. Say Ambazonia na una country. Now because it don't fail for una face. Now because it don't fail. Now because the political experiment for capture the Ambazonian people them. Change their identity. Change everything about who they be. And make them become Frank Anglais. And then when I go take all those places for Ambazonia, when I go create other Bulu villages around, when I confuse the whole thing, the people that know their left, they know their front. By the time the one who up, when I don't turn things upside down. Now because the experiment, the political experiment, the experiment to assimilate, the experiment to conquer the Ambazonian people. Now, because this generation, with our quality of education, our inspiration, our courage, our bravery, we don't chakara all those nonsense. Now, because we don't chakara, now because we defeat those plans, we dismantle those plans, we expose those plans, we shame them. Now that they come up now for create a new commission, a commission to rewrite the history, the true history of Cameroon. What a shame! All because Paul Biya, the fearful, enter into a credible negotiation. All because Paul Biya want buy time. All because Paul Biya knows the end time don't come. Wait till be all this one. They prepare now the future of reconciliation. Una hear me fine. The entire manipulative scheme now for set up the stage of national reconciliation. Because they go now for can acknowledge, say we'll be very sorry, we'll misinterpret the history, and that's why we propose wrong solutions. We misinterpret the two cultures. That's why we go through the wrong path. Then they go say, we'll be very sorry. Who will be very sorry? So we go down this wrong path. Our eyes are not open. This they don't help me more understand the true history of the country and the distinct heritage. Now they set up this. Now part of the manipulative strategy for prepare the ground for what they call and say their national reconciliation. Because everything else don't fail them. Cameroon don't run out of options because of the defeat. All right? Because of Ambazonian defeat of Cameroon, Cameroon don't run out of options. In fact, I'll put this picture for now here. Because of Ambazonian defeat of Cameroon, because of your strategy, because of your sense, so you get up, because of the bravery of our defense forces for defend the sovereignty, for defend the communities and protect the people, because of the guns and bullets, we will not buy them, put them for ground, because of the powerful defense forces, we don't build them. Because of the best leadership where Dr. Abacho don't offer them for the Ambazonian people then. For protect their aspirations, the hopes, the dreams, and for make Ambazonia me be powerful. For make Ambazonia me be respected. For make Ambazonia me be trusted by the international system. Because it tell we, until you put guns and bullets on the ground, no person will take you serious. Because Dr. Ayababi tell we, until we put enough guns, enough bullets, you no go fit lay hands on your freedom. Until we build defense structures on the ground, the leader be tell we, he say power, it be dependent by guns and bullets. If you not put power, you not buy guns, you not put bullets, you not train defense forces under a total command and control structure, you not get any power for this world. When it come for end occupation and for liberate a people, the leader be tell we. That strategy, now it don't make Cameroun don't crumble. We don't defeat Cameroun through the block by block and making the territory ungovernable. They don't lost political control. They lost administrative control. Parliamentarians, they don't run. Senators, they don't run. DOs, they don't run. SDOs, they don't run. While soldiers, they battle them. Control territories. Make Ambazonian powerful. Now the world don't see how we don't project ourselves. How we don't take control of the territory. And exert Ambazonian right for live under the sun. That's why they come up with this new manipulation. Stand your ground, Ambazonia. Una put una foot for ground as the leader, don't tell we. Not been at the time this will go entertain any nonsense. In fact, any Ambazonian, when I remember, since 2016, no Ambazonia don't ever vote any person may go representative for the colonial parliament. Make this one be very clear for all man. Since 2016, no elections that never take place on Ambazonia where the Ambazonian people they authorize them. So since 2016, no Ambazonia, it don't vote any man or any woman may go representative for the colonial parliament. So any person will go for Cameroon colonial parliament, whether your name na Ni John Frundi or your name na Honorable Joa. No matter who you be, the Ambazonian people not vote any person for go represent them for a colonial state. So any man or woman where you carry your longer throat, you carry your longer belly, as una don't do them since 1961. For say una want go represent Ambazonia for the colonial state, una di do them, una di go represent na una selves, not be Ambazonia. Now the first thing I want to make be very clear. Ambazonia not be vote you, no election not be take place in Ambazonia, where the Ambazonian people they participate. So Ambazonia they not give any person any legitimacy and any authority for go represent them. The Ambazonian people they fight a war of liberation for end Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia. So now the first thing that I want to make all man know. The second thing I want to know, I say, we don't come very far. In the last 3 months, in the last 6 months, since October, with the launching of the stabilization force, with the launching of the Akamatsus, the game on the ground don't change. The game on the international community don't change. The place where the Ambazonian people did diplomatically don't change. We don't get a high place on the international stage. We control the ground and we determine what will happen for ground zero. Our defense power as the leader be prescribe and describe them. Now our currency to freedom. Because now the power of defense on the ground, now I go determine the nature of negotiations, if any, and how quickly we knock Cameroon off. That's why when I say Dr. Abancho na person wey he think in advance. If you don't predict say Cameroon will go down this path with this their corny, that's why I tell we make build their Kamatsus. That's why I launch the special forces for help for change the narrative, for help for change the game on the ground. That's leadership. Because it anticipate and predict all these things, because now it draw the strategy So if you know what it could happen, right? When I don't see now, things they don't change. When I don't see how much control we get on for ground, and how many of you now don't also notice it since they create the stabilization forces, they launch the stabilization forces, they project the stabilization forces, and they get for work. How many of you now don't notice it? They say the Cameroun massacres, the Cameroun army, police, and their killings of Ambazonia don't drastically reduce. When I don't notice how, since the day when they launched the stabilization forces, since the day when General F and can commission the stabilization forces, since the day when the defense chairman and Dr. Ebacho, they come outside, they can commission the stabilization forces and project this power on the ground. Cameroun massacres on Ambazonian, it don't drastically reduce. When I think about how many thousands of lives they don't be saved because of that. When I think about how many villages they don't be protected because of that. And now, some funny thing they happen for Ambazonia. Cameroon army, police, and gendarmes are nowhere to be found. They don't hide. They don't hide. They fear for fight what forces them. They fear their kamatsus. Even when a local be a house, the top Cameroon general, when they go for Upper Bayan, capture a whole house. Now the level of authority that we don't exert and for ground. Now the level of power that. That's why Cameroon the shake. Ooh, Cameroon never shake. They never see no nothing. More the calm. The second phase of the stabilization force, as the leader don't promise we. Now for do what he remain now. If we project the first phase, when I see what he accomplish, when I see what he change for the international system, then when I know now what we need for doing. As Cameroon the plan for more conny, now the time this will get for double our efforts on that strategy of the stabilization forces. That's why the leader don't tell we, make we expand the stabilization force. As Cameroon want more conny for divert international attention and dodge international negotiation. Now the time this will we for add more power for ground, not be less. Now the time this will we for sacrifice more, because we'll be close to victory. We'll be close for knocking Cameroon off. We'll be close for taking the big cities. If we put the second phase of the stabilization force for a very strategic place, because talks that they go on for make sure say Cameroon enter for table. But now we must determine how we enter for table. Now we must determine what power for table. Because what power will project them on the ground and what power for control on the ground, now I go determine what place for table. And I go determine now that Cameroon history, where they talk say they want to write the true history of Cameroon. We Ambazonian, we go help for write the true history of Cameroon through what defeat of Cameroon for Ambazonia. The best way for rewrite Cameroon history, now the defeat of Cameroon for Ambazonia. Now the best response that we'll give Pobia. We need for knock them off those places. We need for put the expansion of the stabilization force for very strategic place. So that now the field start for take those big camp, army camps, gendarme station, police station for the big cities them. Now the game this. Now the sense this. We must prepare ourselves for waiting the camp by building more power. We already saved a lot of lives. In the last few months, we don't make Cameroon police and gendarme, they don't fear for the worker for our streets. They don't hide. So I want to thank all una for how much caring una get them for the Ambazonian people and for Ground Zero. And for diaspora they talk. The people them for diaspora. Mommy and papa them for diaspora. Una don't save thousands of Ambazonian lives through una commitment for fund the Ambazonian Defense Forces. Through una commitment for fund the stabilization forces. Now una don't change everything for the Ambazonian people them. Now una don't change the destiny of the Ambazonian people them. Now una don't change the future of the Ambazonian people them. And because of that, now una don't bring the Ambazonian people for a place where they did now just a little bit of work will take our country back. Cameroon knows say time don't end. May they go write the true history of Cameroon. But that one will include Ambazonia. As for Ambazonian people then, we don't make the best choice, follow the best strategy, take the best actions, and we don't redefine and reshape the destiny of the Ambazonian people then. Great things are there ahead for we. We just need to sacrifice a little bit more. But I know say, with what we don't accomplish them on behalf of the Ambazonian people then, over the last few months, if we make a little bit of sacrifice, every Ambazonian, where it believe for Ground Zero, it believe for we for knock Cameroon off finally, for shame them and for get them out, then the leader the appeal, he call on all man. Next Saturday, we go be at the 24th of April. It go be a global fundraising for the expansion of the stabilization forces. Now an event for we for move the, for write this last chapter for a war of liberation. Forgive our people them. Forgive our leader. Forgive the Ambazonian people them. The best opportunity for enter into a negotiation for make Cameroon sign his surrender. For make Cameroon sign his surrender. And for Ambazonian people them for take their certificate of sovereignty. Now they work this way, remain. So you know over plenty. As you don't promise them, would you reach out for every person? One more week. If you never get a letter of invitation, it will come this weekend. For every person, make sure you prepare yourself. For make sure say we write Cameroon their obituary for Ambazonia. I want to thank all una plenty for this time una don't take them for join we. I want to thank una plenty for una consistent support. All Ambazonian families them, all business people them, una time don't come. We'll call again, we'll reach out for una once more. For we for make go an extra mile for fund the stabilization for the expansion of the stabilization forces. For write Cameroon your obituary for Ambazonia. They already finish. Make we finally finish them and teach them what this generation be about. And teach them what this generation be about. No person, if he sell Ambazonia. No colonial authority, if he change, make we be what we will not be. We be Ambazonian. We deserve the right to freedom. While people they deserve the right to dignity. While people they deserve the right to hope. While people they deserve the right to a good country. While people they deserve the right to happiness. While people they deserve the right for prosper. While people they deserve the right for live a good life. Now the thing is we owe for our people them. We owe our picking them a decent society. We owe our mommy them a proper environment where they feel live there and feel happy. We owe our people them a good country. And this generation, it don't rise up for make sure say we end Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia and we finally give the Ambazonian people them the chance, the opportunity for once more come together and define the kind country, the kind structure, the kind government where we go build them, where it go reflect who we will be as a people. Now the generation this. No country, whether na America, whether na Germany, whether na France, whether na United Nations, whether na African Union, they no go ever define the Ambazonian people their future for them. No man no go ever decide who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be. That decision, now only the Ambazonian people go make that decision. At time kuna plenty say una don't listen, una don't participate. We'll see una next week Saturday. Oh, before I go, I want to thank my colleagues them for ACN TV. I don't overuse plenty time for the program where it's supposed to follow this one. I don't overuse plenty time. So for our brother Comrade Horace and Comrade PK, I be very sorry say I use a little bit of una time and I thank una for una generosity. So my fellow Ambazonians, una stay tuned for ACN. A good program become right immediately after I sign off. All right. As always, my phone number that for front. Una contact me for make sure say any man get an invitation letter for as a liberator for the fundraising way they come up. Contact me if you get donation we want make them in advance. Any donations we will receive them, we will send you a receipt and a thank you letter. All right. So a lot of people them their receipts they don't mail out some. For the last fundraising, some of the receipts they never be sent out, but we know say we must always make sure say all man get a receipt. Any dollar we donate from Ambazonian Governing Council, you get your receipt and you get your thank you letter. All right. So we'll make sure say we'll continue for work as fast as we can. For make sure say we'll live up to the speed and the responsibility of the work we day ahead of we for all we. All right. I know if it go, we'll not tell what picking and say. We really love una plenty. For all Ambazonian picking them, we love una plenty. The future will be build them, na for una. For all wa mami and wa papa them, I want to tell una say, una believe, una trust, una be assured. Say what you don't start them. Forgive una a free homeland. Una go get them. Una picking them and una grand picking them, they go deliver a free homeland for all una. As for Cameroun, una end, una time for Ambazonia, it don't end. The new generation don't rise for take back control of our territory and forgive our people them, which they deserve. For all our soldiers them, our generals them, accord una cafe, this victory, now una don't give the Ambazonian people them. The Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces, when I be the Supreme General, will lead the war for Ground Zero. And now he represent the political, the hopes, the aspirations of the Ambazonian people, them General Effa. You and Lieutenant General Popo and all were generals and commanders una cafe day up. Grandpa Devil, Pa Awo, ya cafe day up. We thank una plenty for the work where una di do am. For make sure say una give Ambazonian people them a free homeland. For the work where una di do am. For make sure say una liberate the territory, una protect our people them, and una defend the sovereignty. We thank una plenty for all our forces them and all other forces them across the 13 states. Any man and woman we don't woke up for defend the land. We thank you plenty for all our leaders and for outside, for all our sister forces and sisters organizations, for all Ambazonian they will be patriotic. The Governing Council of Ambazonia. Now the leading movement will lead the war of Ambazonian independence. At this phase of our war of liberation, there is only one leader who will represent the Ambazonian people them in terms of the liberation. Now Dr. Ayabacho, now he be the leader who will lead the Ambazonian people them for the liberation. Now he lead the biggest force on the ground. Now he give the Ambazonian people them the strategy, the roadmap, and it provide more than 80% of all the guns that they did for ground through the Ambazonian Defense Forces. Now they lead the Ambazonian people them diplomatically, and therefore the governing council of Ambazonia, it be for a place for form alliances, form relationships, for protect Ambazonian interest and Ambazonian aspiration. All right? So shake no day. Una stay fine. May God bless all una. We love una. We'll talk tomorrow. Oh, I think that tomorrow or on a Sunday. I think that tomorrow. Yes. One of the, I think, might just leave. I'm so beg before I can't confuse myself. When I get a good night. When I get a good night.
We've come here to tell the United Nations that the land they mortgaged to Cameroun will be recaptured by the brilliant people of Ambazonia.
Right! Yes!
That the complicity they had with the United Kingdom will be dampened. That your spirit, the indomitable spirit that has led you from your homes right here to this plaza, will not be extinguished by the banality of evil installed in our homeland. That the spirit that has awakened from the dusty street of Mutengene to the alleys of Bamenda will not be squashed by the brutality of Cameroun, the complicity of the United Nations, and the utter silence of the United Kingdom. For the blood of our people spilled for those who've gone before us. We stand like valiant soldiers to lay our lives to ensure that their blood wasn't spilled in vain. That they didn't die in vain. That the mothers who screamed for their daughters, the fathers who are on shore where their kids are detained, wouldn't mourn in vain. I have come here as a soldier of the revolution. I have come here to assure you that this is just the first step to internationalize our struggle, to make the international community understand our pain, the pain of the mothers, the yearning of the fathers, and the doubts plastered on the faces of our kids. That the land, the 43 square meter land that we own, will not be mortgaged, will not be taken by any other country. That we are ready, that we will fight block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, until the day, as the last speaker said, we will be able to install a government in Boya, a government for the Ambazonians, a government by the Ambazonians, that is going to speak for us, fight for us, make treaties for us. We are not going to allow an alien dominating power from Yaoundé to decide our future, decide the curriculum of our education, decide which language we speak in our courts. And if the lawyer said no, right from here in New York, we send a message to Yaoundé that we are ready for the gendarmes, the bee, and all the evil spirits that have been installed in our homeland. That we will give our life for a free Ambazonia. That if this country was built on the blood of people from distant places, we are ready as soldiers of the revolution to make sure that one day, just one day, we have a homeland to call our own, a place to dwell in peace, a place where we as a people can decide our destiny. You've just got started. It's a long journey. Liberation is not a walk in the park, and I want you to be ready. Do not believe soothsayers who say you are just going to have it on a platter of gold. It's going to be a hard struggle. But the footprints you leave here today will be followed by those after us. They will know we were here. They will know we fought for them. They will know we died for them. They will know we did our part. And so they will use the same rope map to be able to inhabit the free country. If that's the only thing we can give our children, let's do it for Mother Ambazonia. I want to thank your leadership. I want to thank all those who've made it possible for me to be here. Together as a people, we will fight together. go to jail together so one day we may be free to come on.
My fellow Ambazonians, dear soldiers of our war of independence, this is Dr. Cho Ayaba. Good morning to all of you, my brave people. I salute your courage and your perseverance. Only people who persevere ever get to be free. Only people who don't give up ever get to be free.
We've come here to tell the United Nations that the land they mortgaged to Cameroon will be recaptured by the brilliant people.
In the last days, I listened to a Cameroonian who was very angry and asking his state to use all level of force in our homeland. He asks his state to deploy the military in every millimeter of our territory, including into our homes, to end our resistance against tyranny, brutality, and the usurpation of our country. I've got a word for this angry guy. The Germans did so before. The Brits did so before. We were first swallowed in the eastern house of Nigeria. Cameroon has done so for 58 years non-stop, in every form and shape, using every method, including gassing our people in Lake Nyos, raping our women. It has not worked for more than 120 years under different regimes more sophisticated than the Yaoundé junta. You can bring every Cameroonian, turn them into soldiers, into Ambalan. We will bundle you out. We are determined to write your obituary in the land of our birth, the land of Kuva Likenye, the brave warrior who battled the Germans in the hills of Mount Fako. We are the owners of Ambazonia. You have treated us like we owe you child support. You have treated us like captured people, like slaves, call us dogs in the land of our birth, deprive us of opportunities, rob us of dignity, plastered fear on our faces, taking away hope from the hearts and minds of our kids, rob us of the most essential thing that every human being aspires for: hope in the future, hope in their endeavors. There is nothing you can do anymore that will bring us down, because a people who are already on the floor fear no fall. We will battle you in every inch of our land. We will bleed your economy. We will destabilize your country. We will humble you in this part of Africa and bring shame to bear on every Francophone government that has been implanted within our continent to rob a people of dignity and hope. Cameroon has been ruled by two men, two illiterate schoolmasters, puppet of colonial regimes, who have robbed you people of dignity, empty your coffers, rob your children of hope. You haven't gotten the bravery to stand up to such tyranny. And what you can prescribe is more brutality on the people who've risen up from the grave to challenge their slave master and regain some dignity and pride and honor. in the country of their birth. I've got bad news for you. The Ambazonian people have risen to fall no more. October 1, if it didn't send a clear message to you, wait for what is coming. Our people will chase you from every inch of our land, batter you until you are unable to govern your own country. We hope for freedom for the Cameroonian people too. We hope for the kind of courage that the Guinean people, the people of Hong Kong are showing on their street, that the Cameroonian people will be imbued with the wisdom and tenacity and perseverance to rise up against the tyranny that has curtailed them of their own freedom. Because for us, the Ambazonian people, we are gone. We are free. We've battered you. Cameroun has been bled out of Ambazonia. And I call on all of our people, even those in the graves, our mothers who have lost their lives, our brave warriors who have lost their life, to send their spirit into Ambaland. The gods of Ambazonia watching over us should send their spirit on our street to defend our dignity. In the coming months, we must all rise up from all the nooks and crannies of Ambazonia and knock Cameroon off balance. Take back our country. Bring back our IGPs, our refugees from distant places. Shatter the walls of the prisons within which our warriors and heroes are detained, and walk them into a freed homeland like Jesus walked into Jerusalem, and begin the beautiful task of rebuilding our societies, giving hope back to our people. We have completed your curriculum of education. Every child within Ambazonia will have free education, compulsory education, until the age of 15. You will have a system that gives you value, opportunities after you've completed your education, to have hope in the country of your birth, to smile again, to use your capabilities as an asset to yourselves, your family, being able to rebuild your country and take pride in being an Ambazonian. In the coming months and in the coming days, we will be providing the chest pins of Ambazonia. It will symbolize a sense of ownership when you put it on your left chest. It will be a piece of Ambazonia that you will wear on you to remind you of the sacrifices of those who are not here with us. The enduring spirit of those in the bushes, battling day and night. The warriors of our homeland who, for the first time in our miserable existence, have shown tenacity, bravery in the face of tyranny, international conspiracy, and oppression. My people, you are a free people. You've humbled the oppressor. Kick them out now. God bless you all.
Stay tuned on ACN TV. We will be right back.